Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, Executive Editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with our ongoing review of every conceivable Mahler cycle known to mankind. Well, maybe not everyone, but a lot of them. And one of you requested that we do Michael Gielen, and since I happen to have it sitting right here, I figured, what the heck? Let's do Michael Gielen. Michael Gielen was a wonderful Mahler conductor. Now, we all know that, but nobody, absolutely nobody, gets all the symphonies right all the time. It's really kind of fascinating because Mahler has become the test composer for so many conductors because his emotional range was so wide. And there probably isn't anyone that encompasses all of it, at least all of it all the time. You know, Gielen had his strengths and weaknesses. He was a very serious guy. He was a German avant-garde serious guy. He was not the kind of guy to make light conversation. He was not the kind of guy who could do happy. He was great with sad. He was great with miserable. He was great with tragic. He could do ironic. He could do bitter. He could do sardonic. He could do decadent. He could do all of those things. Lightness, happiness, innocence, charm. Not so much. And so, you know, for most of the time, he's very good in Mahler, where those sort of heavier qualities predominate. But where the lighter qualities predominate, especially humor, Gielen was not your man. No, no, no. And that is sort of evident in the strengths and weaknesses of this cycle. So let's go through it symphony by symphony, and we'll see how well he does. Okay, are we ready? And there are some surprises, by the way. First of all, let me just say before we get started, this is the Gielen edition box. There was a previous Hensler box, and then there were individual discs of all of these things. And, you know, the couplings on those individual discs were sometimes just marvelous. I mean, you got Schrecker and Ives and all kinds of interesting stuff. And that has now been redeployed in various boxes in this Gielen edition, because the original recordings were released on Hensler as cooperative efforts between Hensler and SWR. But then that relationship ended, and SWR created its own Gielen edition under the supervision of my dear friend, Dr. Meyer Eller of Munchkin. And boy, is he good at doing these things. I mean, someone who really knows how to put a box together with notes and details and everything correct. And, you know, you just don't see that these days. Anyway, so all of his Mahler is in here, not just the symphonies. You also get Das Lied von der Erde, Das Knaben Wunderhorn, the Songs of a Wayfarer, the Rückert-Lieder, and the Kindertotenlieder. Unfortunately, the Das Klagende Lied, which is amazing, can't be in here because that was released on Orfeo. It was recorded in Vienna, so it's on a different label, and I've reviewed it, and it was one of my best discs of the year, and it's great. But we have this. So let's take this one schlep at a time here. What is this? Why is this in like, oh yes, you also get like a live Mahler 9, which is kind of interesting too. So that's good to have. But let's see, what is this? Oh, and there's that. Okay, yeah, so much stuff. So much stuff. Holy cow. So I'm taking out the booklet. I'm going to do this scientifically because there's 17 CDs worth of stuff, and that is quite a bit. CD 1. And they have notes in English and German and Ladino, and it's unbelievable. Yes, you get a DVD of the Mahler 9 from 2003. Now, I have to say this about his Mahler 9s. I'm not a fan of Gielen's Mahler 9s. Let's start with the 9th. Why not? Both of them. They tend to be, it's funny, you would really think he would be absolutely great in Mahler 9, that he would be just insane and decadent and crazy and tragic and expressionistic and all of those things. And sometimes he is, but the problem with the Mahler 9th is this. First of all, the orchestra itself is not fabulous. And sometimes he really whips them up and they do really well, but sometimes they just don't sound as powerful and exciting as they should. And he doesn't really want to do anything about that because Gielen was kind of an austere guy, and he felt that, you know, if it sounded kind of ugly and not terribly happy, then, well, that's what it was, you know. So there was that. The other thing is he never really got the finale. His finale of Mahler 9, after a very, long and deliberate first movement was always on the fast side. Kind of like Bruno Walter did it, or Leonard Bernstein's first recording, which is okay, except that, that finale of Mahler Ninth, in addition to being, incredibly sad and tragic, it gets its sadness and intensity from being really heart-on-sleeve emotional. And Gielen was not that. He was not a sentimentalist. And you gotta have sentiment when you do the finale of the Ninth. And so I find that his Ninth falls a little flat. It's not one of his better performances. I find it rather underplayed. So there is that. Then we start, let's start at the beginning, because they give you the DVD and then there's another Ninth later on. So let's just start now with the others. Number one. Number one's fabulous. Absolutely fantastic. And he doesn't even minimize like the triumph at the end. It's just a ball buster of a performance and wonderfully recorded. It was a real surprise to me because I really thought that when it came to the big happy ending, he was going to be kind of unhappy about it. I suppose if he could think it's a false happy ending, he can do it. It's sort of like the Shostakovich Fifth style ending, only with Mahler. And so he does, and it's just stupendous. It's stupendous. Number two, also first rate. Really an excellent performance. It's a little bit, I don't know, maybe if you want to talk about a little bit slack rhythmically in a couple spots here or there, but it's by and large an absolutely marvelous performance. And once again, he doesn't stint on the grandeur at the end. I always worry about him with that, But no, he allows Mahler's grandeur and bombast to be grandeur and bombast. Somehow he rationalized it, and however he did it, I don't care, as long as he delivers the goods. Number three is also excellent. A very, very fine performance with beautiful playing throughout and excellent singing, and it's just these phantasmagoria symphonies at the beginning of Mahler's career, he seems to be quite good at. I think he enjoys the eclecticism, that vulgarity rubbing shoulders with sublimity thing that lots of conductors sort of get into. Now, number four. Number four is a problem. Well, this is recorded in 1988, and it's okay, but it's not wonderful. It's just basically uninteresting. I don't think he really enjoyed the fourth's portrayal of innocence and serenity, where he has a chance to be spooky and weird. Yes, he takes it, but generally speaking, the fourth is kind of pastoral and relaxed, and he's not that kind of a guy. I find his fourth to be just ordinary, very ordinary. Now, the fifth is another issue. The fifth is okay. I'm looking at it here, and it's not bad. He has a very fast adagietto, 8 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm sure you would expect that from him because he wants to get over the sentimental bits as quickly as possible. But I find the whole performance somewhat lacking in conviction. I think the problem with the fifth is that in spite of the opening funeral march, which, people like Gielen, his eyes would light up. Ja, Trauermarsch. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, great. And the turbulent second movement, the rest of it pivots and becomes a very, very happy piece. The scherzo, of course, is transitional, and that's nicely done. The adagietto is very quickly done, and I like faster performances of it. There's nothing wrong with that. But the finale, that fugal finale, he provides clarity, but not conviction. I don't think that closing chorale is as transcendental as it needs to be. I was a little bit surprised at the coolness of the first two movements as well. The fifth is such a hard piece to do. It really is. This one isn't bad, but it's certainly not in the top tier. It just isn't. Now, sixth, oh ho! Sixth was his meat and potatoes piece. It's tragic. It's expressionistic. It foretells the second Viennese school. Oh my! The man couldn't be happier. This is a great sixth. All of his sixths were fun, and they also released a two-sixth set, which I made a video about. A very fast one from early in his career, a very fast and kind of non-expressive one, and then a really, really slow and insane one from the end of his career. It's really fascinating. This one happily is in the middle. The tempos are mostly normal. The performance is really, really dark. And that's what the 6 ought to be. So that would be good. The 7th, too. The 7th, this is one of the great ones. I mean, this is just amazing. This goes right up there with the Bernstein New York Phil Sony recording. It's one of the all-time great 7ths. The only thing it lacks is that last ounce of crazy humor in the finale, because he had no sense of humor. He plays it literally. He plays it literally, and it's okay. It goes well because, that music is so crazy that you can just do what you're, without any extra sort of, insight or help, and it's going to work. But wow, the rest of it. Oh my goodness, it's amazing because he loves every eldritch screech and raunchy moan in this music, and it's full of them. The opening of the scherzo is the best thing he ever probably conducted, with the portamento and the clarinet glissandi. There's downward clarinet portamento. It goes like that, and you usually don't hear it. Oh, do you hear it here? Boy, oh boy, it's just a great 7th. He never bettered it. But he did do another one that's equally great, actually, on Testament with the Berlin Philharmonic, a live concert. And it's amazing what he achieved with them. And with Berlin, an orchestra that almost never really did very good Mahler, or didn't like to. They were forced to, but wow, he really makes them play it. So his Mahler 7th was always special. That was a piece he was made to conduct. 8th, surprisingly good. Surprisingly good. I had no hopes for him doing the 8th. He actually gets most of it. I think the very ending could be a little bit more powerful, but okay. Essentially, the 8th Symphony doesn't really require a conductor, as I've said many times. It requires a traffic cop. You're just sort of directing traffic. This group goes this way, the boys' chorus goes this way, the soloists turn left at the intersection. That's what you do with Mahler's 8th. So the key is to just keep it moving, and in the second part, reveal as much color as you possibly can, and hopefully hurry over the solos of the 3 irritating women. And then you're in business. And he's in business. What can I say? So then we have the 9th, which, as I said, I don't think it's his best performance. I think he lets us down in the finale somewhat. And we have the Adagio of the 10th separately from 1989, and then his complete 10th in the Derek Cook version. And that's fabulous. It's just, it's one of the handful of really great versions of it. There's like Sanderling and this one and Chailly and, and it's just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And he seems to have no problem with the fact that it's incomplete or that Mahler died. In fact, that's even a plus, probably in his world, that Mahler died. And then we got songs. Okay, so we've got the Songs of a Wayfarer with Peter Mattei, which is quite good. The Kindertoten Lieder with Cornelia Kalisch, which I find to be a little bit, well, I don't think she has the best voice out there, frankly. The performance is okay. It's not special. The Rückert Lieder with, Elizabeth Coleman, mezzo-soprano. Those are good. These are not the best sung in the universe, but they're all very well done and effective, and it's good to have them. Then we have Des Knaben Wunderhorn with Blumina, the orchestral movement stuck in the middle of it, and it's great. It's a great Des Knaben Wunderhorn. It's with, Christian Ivan soprano and Henno Müller-Brachmann baritone, and they're just terrific. It's a wonderful Des Knaben Wunderhorn. It's also a piece that a lot of people kind of ruin for some reason. It shouldn't be hard to do, but I think it's sort of strange, quasi-folksy element throws some people, and Gielen just revels in it. He really does. It's wonderful. Then we've got Das Lied von der Erde, again with Cornelia Kalisch and Siegfried Jerusalem. This is a performance that was assembled from 2 wildly different performances. One the tenor songs were done in 1992, and the alto songs were done in 2001. But it holds together quite well. Kalisch sounds better to me here than she did in the Kindertoten Lieder. And maybe it's because it's earlier. I don't know. Let me just take a quick peek here. That's what's good when my dear colleague Sören Meyer-Eller does a booklet. You could find the information. It's all right there. Let's see. She actually was 1998 was the Kindertoten Lieder. So go figure. And that's it. That's the box. That's really quite a comprehensive Mahler box. I really can't imagine, in spite of, the pluses and minuses, the minuses being slightly minus. Nothing's bad, but 4, 5, and 9 maybe. But everything else is pretty terrific. It really is. And I can't imagine a Mahler person, a serious Mahler person, not wanting to have this. Because while you may find Mahler's euphoria and simplicity and joy better expressed elsewhere, you ain't going to find the dark stuff done any better. You just ain't. It's marvelous in that respect, and it's well recorded, and it's well presented, and it's just beautiful, and you should buy it because God knows how long it'll be out there, and it will last you a lifetime. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.